Hello, this is Karol, and I can see why people record in their cars. It's sometimes the best private place you can get. This is Tuesday, a week since Adia passed away, and I just thought I needed to share some thoughts. Our family had a nice celebration of life where we shared our love and thoughts for Adia and how we were going to not let this sadness keep us down, but actually use it as a sort of like a jumping pad to launch some powerful, inspired actions on in honor of Adia and who she was. So there is a celebration of life for her this coming Saturday at their home, Jason and Adia's home. And Jason did post sort of I guess you could say obituary on his Facebook, and I will link to that. I just came in from a walk, that's why my glasses are dark. And it's a beautiful day and made me feel much better. Feeling the air, seeing the geese by the water, and people speaking and having a pleasant day. I thank all those who are sending your condolences to all of us. And we're good. We're strong. We'll bring each other together and hold each other up. Armand, her only son, is 21, and realizing the support of his family, that we have love for him and we'll always be there for him. So just let me tell you a little about Adia. She was our first child, James and my first child, born November 12th, 1974. I remember that I'll never forget the nurse saying, "Oh, you have a pretty little girl with dimples." She was a beautiful baby. Scary baby. Whenever we had to take that's back then when you had the telephone and they rang loud. Every time the bell rang on the phone, she screamed, "Yeah!" We ended up taking the bell off the phone. She was always happy, little girl. And she's about in the second grade. She had an opportunity or a challenge from the teacher. I think it was 30 days to read how many books they could read in 30 days. Adia read 100 books. But she got beat out by one book by a child who had some mental disabilities. So actually his parents had to have read to him. But that's the way she was. She loved learning. She loved challenges. She was very competitive. We used to keep them active during the summer. One summer they ran track, Adia, Aries' son, and Atiera. This is in Dayton, Ohio, where they grew up until we moved to Washington State in this fall of 1987. So they ran track, and that's what we discovered. She was pretty fast. Later on in high school, at Falls High School in Tacoma, Washington, she ran track. She was a track star. She won all city best sometimes. She had that earned her a scholarship to University of Puget Sound to run track there. And there was she found that the training was more than she wanted. That took her from her studies. She was studying biology. She wanted to go to medical school at that time. So after the first year, she didn't continue with the track team. She did graduate with her degree in biology. She also went to the reserves for a 4-year term, I think. While in basic training, got all kind of honors. She was just someone who loved learning. She went on later on to get a master's degree online. I think it was in medical business administration. Her son, Armand, her only child, she raised pretty much by herself and loved him up. He was challenging. Pandemic, we found out that Adia had a talent as an artist. And that's why I'm going to add some of her artwork to this post before I put it out. Yeah, being at home, having extra time instead of commuting from our commute to downtown Seattle, where she worked for the University of Washington Medical School. If you ever go to your doctor's office and you see the Epic on the computer screen that their medical records, well, Adia worked for the Epic division or program at the University of Washington Medical School. It means she had a lot to do with those medical records. I don't know exactly, but I know she continued to move up in her status, level 3, where she had to continue education and pass tests and continue to rise up, and she did that. So think about her every time I go to a medical appointment and see Epic there. But her art was beautiful. She would turn them out left and right every day. We would get a new text with the new artwork. She painted all her nieces and nephews. She painted her father and me. She painted her grandmother. She painted her pets. She loved painting. You know, people always, when people pass, share all the, oh, they were such a wonderful person. They were so loving. Well, I want to give you some examples of Adia and her love for life, love for compassion for animals. She had a purchased house plant. Beautiful plant. When she brought it home, she discovered there was a little frog in there. Now, how many of you would have freaked out, thrown the frog out, stumped the frog, or anything like that? Adia took the frog, purchased a terrarium for him, fed him live crickets. So that means she had to keep the crickets alive. That means buying cricket food so she could keep the crickets alive to feed the frog. That frog lived for 2 years. I remember when I moved in, she moved in her newer house, and the frog's room was the guest room. One of the duties of the person in the guest room is to take the little spray bottle and spray the frog's terrarium every day. So yeah, when she went all out. Any of you have an aquarium? Well, you know how much work just a little fishbowl can be. How about a 75-gallon saltwater aquarium for tropical fish? Adia kept a beautiful aquarium. She downsized it to a smaller one, but still a lot of work. Saltwater aquarium for 3 fish, beautiful fish. So she painted fish. I'll show you some of her beautiful artwork. She did post some of her artwork on items in society6.com, where I invite you to go and check it out. In memory of her, I know people want to send cards and traditional flowers to a funeral. I suggest remember her by looking at her artwork and maybe purchasing something that you will have of hers. I have some beautiful paintings of hers, and I'll share. Last year, about this time, her sister Adia was sharing her studying under Bob Proctor, who she's learning about the power of attraction. And And I rewatched the movie The Secret, and with my mother, who's 101, who lives with me. I'm a caretaker. And after The Secret went off, I said, Mom, do you believe on that? She said, no, I don't believe that. That anything you put in your mind and concentrate on and have this feeling that is going to happen is true, that believe it will happen. I said, well, I believe it. My children are doing well because they believe it. I believe it too. And that night I launched a challenge to help my mother believe this by saying, we're going to hit the lottery. If this 100-year-old lady, she's 100 that time, can hit the lottery for millions of dollars, I think people believe the power of attraction. So I share that with my family, my cousins, my sister, and my children and husband. And Tiara said, well, let's start doing a family weekly mastermind where we'll study Bob Proctor and his book, You Were Born Rich. And we started doing that, and we would meet on Sundays, and it was great. We brought us together. I was dive right into it. I mean, I was all for it. Every night I was watching something on the power of attraction or spirituality, and I was really starting to really make a connection. Adia visited in Dayton last February and mentioned that she had a knot on the side of her neck that scared her because she had had cancer exactly 5 years before. She was having trouble getting an appointment for the medical system, so backed up that she was having trouble getting an appointment. So it took a while for her to get in. And she got in, they said that yes, her cancer had come back. I started researching too and learning and how food is medicine and alternative treatments. Adia felt it necessary to go through the chemotherapy, but she did ask about keeping her immune system up, and they had some other treatment along with it, and it was very difficult. After each treatment every other week, she also had to take a shot that was supposed to help build her immune system, and it gave her terrible pain for 10 days after each time she had to take that shot. She was a trooper. She never complained. She continued to work as much as she could. Fortunately, at that time, she was working from home. Tell her you need to take time off. She just couldn't see that she could. Well, she and Jason got engaged a year before, and during this time she was planning a wedding. She was finding wedding in Vegas, so fortunately she didn't have to. She could get a package, and September was her wedding, September 10th. Well, her sister's in Atlanta. We're in Ohio. She found that Jason, her brother, Ari, and Jason, good friends. So Ari is going to be the best man. Her sister, Tiara, is a matron of honor. And so about June, July, plans for the bachelor party was coming out, and they were going to Portland and having a party. And Adia sort of realized she didn't have anybody locally to really have a bachelorette party with. Her sister, Tiara, a very, very thoughtful sister, said that she was planning, to me, she didn't tell Adia, a bachelorette party where she and I and their first cousin, Titi, her name's Terry, we call her Titi, we're going to Seattle to give Adia a bachelorette party, a surprise. We're going to totally surprise her. Told Jason about it. and he was going to keep the secret. Well, one of Adia's medical treatments got delayed because her lab work wasn't good enough for the treatment. So Tiara knew that after each treatment, she was out of commission for 10 days. So she had to let Adia know that she was planning to come for a bachelorette party. Now, just to come visit her. She didn't tell her it was a bachelorette party, or to take her out to dinner, do something. And so, but she didn't tell her that TT and I would come, and she didn't tell her the plans. So Adia knew a little bit that Tiara was coming. And when we got there, Tiara and Ari went into the house. TT and I stood outside. I got my camera ready, and when they got in and we knocked on the door, and we surprised her. So I'll share her surprise video. We had a wonderful weekend. We went downtown to Seattle. We stayed in a hotel. We took a ride in Lake Union on a hot tub boat. We were living it up. Just the girls. We had a spa treatment the next day, and I gave Adia one of my gift boxes. Her name is Swahili. It means a gift from God. I put together a gift box as part of my Harriet Tubman program.
Surprise! Mama, you're back! You just was here. Yeah, I had to keep a secret while I was here.
I got you. So for Adia's wedding, I took my mother, 100-year-old mother. We flew to Las Vegas. Armand was there. We had a beautiful family gathering for Adia and Jason's wedding, September 10th, 2022. Adia and Jason went to Mexico in November for their honeymoon. She had a good time, saw beautiful pictures of them being in the jungle, seeing monkeys running around, and Jason brought her adventurous side out. Also in Vegas, during the time there at the wedding, she jumped off the stratosphere. Her sister-in-law had done it the year before, and she was bound determined to do it. First day the weather was bad, she couldn't do it. She's bound determined to do it. Fortunately, it cleared up and they could jump, and she did. And then they had their wedding, honeymoon in Mexico. And we had a good visit. She was still not in good health, but I was there to help her cook meals and take care of her animals. I knew that Adia would be home and her 2 dogs and 2 cats would need her, and she would get up and not get her rest. And so I was one thing I needed to be there for. And cooking for Armand and her and Jason. And we had good talk. I showed her the type of programs I was watching on YouTube. Introduced her to Dr. Joe Dispenza on Prime Video, the Gaia channel, where he talked about how we can control our mind, how he had healed himself with his mind control, learning all about the power, and we're all energy, and that we are all, we're energy living in a human body for the experience of being here. I told her about me studying how past life experiences and how things in our past life could be affecting us now, why we are interested in certain things, why we might be afraid of certain things that could be connected to past lives. All this stuff just fascinated me, and she was interested too, and she really appreciated it. I also was studying a little bit about energy medicine, and Donna Eden, she has exercises that you can do, tapping and different things to help you understand how we can heal ourselves. So I was just boosting her up to know that she had the ability to save herself from all this pain and suffering from the cancer and the treatments. I also had to telling her about the angels and how we all have angels here all the time, guardian angels. I'm sharing this because my angels told me I need to share my truth, and my truth is that I totally believe in the spiritual world and believe that we are spiritual beings in this body for an experience. It's not real. It's an experience, that we are in this life for an experience, that we want to learn, that our spirit in this lifetime want to learn. And so while I was there at that visit, she had the cutest little kitten. She just got Noah. Cutest. First time I had seen Noah. He was still a young kitten, and it was like before New Year's Eve night. Jason was going to his family's house for New Year's Eve, and since he didn't go for Christmas, or he was packing up gifts in his car, and the door was open for a little while, I did start wondering where Noah was, because he was always right there, right close by. We start wondering, did Noah get out the house? We looked all over the house, everywhere. So Jason was out. It's getting dark. It was early, but it gets dark early in Washington State, and with his flashlight, and I was out there looking and calling Noah, going through people's yards, trying to find the cat. Worried about him. He's special breed, just a lovable cat. Bred to be like a dog more than a cat, and no fear, not an outside cat. I was praying all the time, oh, angels, Adia doesn't need this. Adia does not need to have this cat out here lost. Please show me where the cat is, how to find the cat. Where is the cat? Please show me the cat. After about 10 minutes out there looking and playing, I was taken back in the house and back into the room where I was staying, in the sofa bed, opened up. I looked behind there before I... So angels told me to look back behind the sofa again. And I looked, and I looked, and I looked a little harder, and I could see very little, small, little toenails from up under the sofa. I said, Adia, the angel showed me where Noah is. And I let her know that was not an accident. She needs to know that the angels are with her at all time. And I know that Adia is with the angels. Her spirit is still with us. I told my kids she's right here. She can hear us, talk to her. So I just want you all to know, my dear Adia is not in the body, but she's alive. And I am in contact with her, and she is guiding me to do great things for people who can benefit from learning how to prevent cancer and to live through cancer, to survive cancer. I got a lot of things I've learned. One thing is to get away from this American diet, the SAD diet, standard American diet, which I'm a dietitian, practiced for over 30 years. But I am giving up my meat, giving up my sugar. These are things that I said I was going to do with Adia. As I went there, bought a juicer, and was ready gung-ho to change my eating habits along with her, because I never believed that she was going to die. So what I'm going to be doing is continue to learn, change my eating habit, share what I'm doing, and as people see me change, if I'm looking healthier and more energetic, I'm 70 years old, and I am just going to hopefully, through my life changes, my improvement in health, my stories of what I'm learning, help others. Adia was in the hospital. I had already planned to go to Dubai for Mind Valley conference in Dubai, and I went. She waited for me to come back before she passed. I went believing that she was going to get a miracle and live through this. I believe that being in the energetic atmosphere of 2,000 people from Mind Valley, where people are all about self-improvement, spiritualization. Lisa Nichols is going to be there. That's one reason I had to go, and I did get to take a picture with Lisa. I'm in Lisa's training program, the CTTP, the Certified Transformational Training Program, and I am transforming. I learned from Lisa and the training program that I've started so far that people think they're awake, but the transformation takes a lot more, and I am sure that now this experience with losing Adia is going to transform me. I have her, the pain of losing her, to use to have me transform my pain into positivity and share what I'm learning to be the best presenter of transformational training that I can possibly be. Learning all I can from Lisa and all the people who are going through this program with me, helping each other. And I will share what I'm doing along the way, and in the memory of my beautiful daughter, Adia Brown Maass, M-A-A-S-S is her married name, and together, Adia on my right side with my angels guiding me, we will make a difference in the world, and I will bring you along with it. Thank you.